Hello, I'm Claire from Created the Ottaway. Thank you for joining me today. I've got a lovely little make for you. I'm sure that you're going to like it as much as I do. It's quite an old design, but with the new Dandy Garden papers, I think it really lends itself well to it and shows off the lovely dragonfly. So I have been using this set quite a lot. I think I've done quite a few different videos on it now, but it just is so perfect for lots of different occasions. The flower is just lovely if it's just stamped in black. If you colour it in, it just lifts itself off the page. And the dragonflies are just beautiful. And obviously you can colour them in as much or as little as you want. You can also get the punch that goes with it, so it's just a really easy set to get on with. So we're definitely going to be using that stamp set tonight. This is the card we're going to make. It's just held together with a bow, but you can see this slightly intricate looking fastening, which I will show you an easy way of how to do that. Now this all comes as part of a suite, or you can just buy things individually, called Dandy Garden. So I just thought it was a little bit different, this card, and like I say, one I haven't made for a while, so I thought I would give it a go. And it shows off the punch as well. So you can shop with me online or send me a message, but let's make the card. Okay, so we're going to start with the basis of the card. You need a piece of coloured card and a couple of smaller pieces of designer series paper. So I'll go through the sizes with you. You're just going to need these to start with. I've used some of the Dandy Garden designer series paper. There's a lot to choose from. Lots of different patterns, different colours, but I was getting quite hooked on Mossy Meadow, and I thought, let's give it a break, let's do something else. So I just checked what other colours are in it, and I really like Blackberry Bliss, so I thought I'd give that a go. I was going to do the inside panel white, but again, because you can stamp on this and it still shows up, I think it just adds to it as well. Okay, so let's start. If I move that out the way, you can see I've already been doing some stamping. So your piece of card, like I said, I'm using Blackberry Bliss. It's slightly thicker than the normal Whisper White card that Stampin' Up do, and that's what you need. You don't want a really thick card because of what we're going to do to it in a moment, but you don't want a really flimsy card either. So the Stampin' Up card is probably about the right weight for this. So the size that you need this base card to be is 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. So I think I still need to cut this down a bit. So 5 3/4 is just about there. Make sure I've got my cutting blade. 5 3/4. Okay, a little sliver, we're not going to need that for anything, but no doubt I will keep it. And 8 1/4 was the size of the card, which I think this is, because it's an A4, so this is like the top of the A4. So that is right, okay. So, and then what we're going to do, we're going to make the punch bits. So these bits here. Now I'm going to be using this punch, which is the Delightful Tag Topper punch, but Stampin' Up do several other ones. So if you've got one of the other ones, there's another one called a Scalloped Tag Topper, which a lot of people have. You could do it with that, or there's this one, which is a Fancy Phrases. So any of those will do. What you're going to do is open your punch up like that, and you're going to bend your card over but not flatten it. So you're just going to bend it over like that, and you're going to slide it in all the way to the edge and roughly in the middle of your card. Okay, so just make sure it's right up to the edge there. Can you see? And then when you're happy, press down, which it makes a loud crack. So then these bits come out. Just make sure that those come down. I think I've just ruined that now because I've double punched it. Let's see if I can rectify it. No. So what's happened is I punched and then pressed down again. So that has made my punch jam. So I'm just going to try and get that out. So can you see what's happened there? Okay. Let's see if we can sort that out with the scissors. You have to be quite clear with your punching, which I wasn't. But it's good to show you. Also my arthritis is not good today, so that's also not helped. Right, I'm just curving those round, just where it's... Ordinarily, I would go and get some card, but if I open the door, the kittens will go mental and I'll never be able to get them out because they wanted to come and play. Okay. So can you see? I will sort that out afterwards. But there is my two things. Now there's no score line on this at the moment because what I need to do is get rid of these extra bits here. Now how do I do that? So I lift the blade, the cutter up, and this bit here that is the cutting line, I need to make sure that this piece here is lined up with it. Now, I don't know if you can see that. So I'm just making sure that I can see the groove. And then I find it easier to come from the bottom up. So if you just cut up, you'll get to a bit where you can feel there's nothing to cut. And you can just take that off, okay? And that leaves it like that. Now, like I said, I find it easier going from the bottom up. So if you just turn it over, and again, I'm just making sure that it's in the right place. I get to a bit where I can feel it's not cutting, and that's it. So that gives me that line. So I'm going to turn it round and do this side the same. Just do it a little bit more and cut up. That side, flip it over and do the bottom bit again. Just line it up, and that's there. So that's given me that shape. Okay, now I need to do a score line because obviously this card is folded in half, but I want to make sure that these bits are in the right place. So what I need to do is score at 4 1/16, which I know sounds really, really strange, but it's one tiny mark after the 4. So 4 inches, that is. So there's that. Be careful, because when I was practicing earlier, I cut it off every time. 3 goes at it. So that's my score line. So I'm flipping it round, and what I'm going to do now is score this bit. So I'm lining that up with the groove, scoring that as well. And then it's safe to take that away. Now, I'm folding it over, so that bit goes there, this bit goes there, and it just about kisses. It doesn't meet, it doesn't overlap, it just meets, okay? Just going to press those down to make sure that they are nice and sharp creases. And that's the basic of my card. So now I'm just going to make it look pretty. Okay, so just move these bits out of the way. So like I said, the background piece I'm going to put in here. That I've already cut to size. So this piece, this designer series paper piece, if you look on the other side, see, you could put that side, but you can't really see if you're going to write or stamp on it. You need to do a fairly light colour, and this works really well. So this piece is 3 15/16. Really complicated measurements today, but basically it's just 1/4 of an inch all round to give you that little bit of a frame. You could do less, you could take it in another quarter, another 16th as well, but I like a little tiny border, so I'm going to stamp on that. Now I know it's the right size for there, I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm going to do this big flower, but I'm just going to do it off the edge. So I've got it on one of my big blocks, and I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss because I'm not going to colour it. I just want it to be on the inside and just stand out a bit. Okay, so, and I don't need the whole thing inked because I'm not going to use the whole stamp. I'll probably use it about halfway. So that's just going to go on there. Put some ink on there, and I'm going to go off the edge just about there, like that. This is a disaster. Look, I've done it again. I'm not having a good day. And that one's going there. Can you see? Look, there's a little bit of an edge there, and I'm never going to get that back. I might have to trim that up. What is it they say? No mistakes. Happy accidents. Okay, let's trim it. Oh, okay. Can't have that bit at the bottom of my card, can I? Which, if I do that, that's going to mean that I need to trim it on the side as well. Let's have a look. Or does that still look okay? Look, I might get away with it. No, I'm going to take a little bit off the edge as well, this side. Okay, chuck that. Just take a little bit off of there, not too much. Okay, move that out of the way. Let's have a check of it now. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now, dare I stamp again? I'm going to put the dragonflies up here, but I'm not sure which way round they are. So I'm going to stamp them up, or ink them up, and let's see if they're upside down. Oh, no. But do they need to be? That's better. So they need to sort of be like that. Right, take a deep breath. Ah, yeah, that'll do. Perfect. So before any other mistakes happen, I'm going to glue that in. Okay, so that's just going to go on there with my Tombow glue, so I've got a bit of wiggle room. Okay, so that's just going to go on the inside, and then I can stamp a sentiment, or I can just use that to write my message. That's just going on there, like that. So that's the inside of my card done. Now I'm going to do this panel here. Now I did think about stamping an image, doing a piece of white, stamping an image and colouring it, but I think that this lends itself, this designer series paper, lends itself really well to the front. Is that upside down? Yeah. What are we like? Okay, that's about right, isn't it? So that literally is just going to go on the front. Now this front panel, the size of this is 2 1/4 by 5 5/8. So before anything else, I'm just going to stick that straight on the front, and that's my card. Safely done. Okay. Now if you wanted to make your card stronger, you can layer it one more layer, or you can do anything on the front really. It's your card, make it your design. So I think this is okay for most, but if I was doing a special card, like I've got to do an 80th card this weekend, I'd probably layer it up a bit more and make it a bit fancier. What do I need to do now? Luckily I've already stamped my dragonfly, so I'm just going to punch that out. Okay, and I have stamped this with StazOn because I'm going to colour with watercolour pencils. Well, I say colour, I'm not going to colour very much. Can you see? It's easy to line up. You sort of grip it and then you do that. You can keep the little baby one if you want. That's going to go in there. I'm going to get a watercolour pencil and one of these blender pens. So I don't want... Oh, shall I do orange? Or what colour is that? No, that's a bit too pink. See, this might be a bit too orangey. Let's try it. Let's give it a go. So, just going to put a couple of, because I don't want it to be too dark, just a few lines on there, and then I'm going to use my blender just to smooch it around a bit and just fill it in. Okay, so can you see the difference? So that side is just a few lines and that bit is just smooched around. It's like it turns it into water painting. So you can move it around your card. Okay, and I'm just going to leave that like that. How have I got a black? I've got a grey. I just feel like that needs to be a bit darker. It's not dark enough. Does that look a bit better? Yeah. Okay, so that's ready to go on the front. I need my sentiments, so I've already got one of these die cut. And my sentiment is this one, which is thank you for your kindness. Is that the right way around? Yep. Here goes nothing. Just about fits on, I think. Lovely. So that's going to go on the front. I'm going to overlap that on there. I don't know why. I just feel like it looks better if it's slightly on the taggy bit. Move it up a bit. Like that. And then I'm going to do my bow. So I've got some of this braided linen. So you can keep it like that, or if you stretch it out, it's like that. So I'm going to put some through and attempt to do a bow on the screen. So, scissors. So that should be more than enough. Let's move that out of the way. Tie that. Okay, can you see it just closes? And usually find if you do the bow upside down to how you want it, it will go, which hasn't worked. Okay, let's tighten that because I want that bit there to go down. Stay down. Okay, I'm going to cut that bit off there so that it's more or less the same. Tighten it and make this come out a bit more by stretching it so it looks like more of a bow at the top. And my dragonfly, where was my dragonfly? So I'm just going to fold the wings up either side and I'm just going to put some glue on the body. Oh. Now You could put some nice gems down the body, they would look lovely. I'm just going to stick that there. And that is my card made. Disaster averted. So, what do you think? I'm hoping you like it and that you give it a go. It's lovely to see all the variations that everybody makes. Thanks for watching. Bye.